Now, when we go with the word Maslow itself, many people will know that it is all about the need of hierarchy. This need provides security and protection from physical and emotional harm. So he always wants to live in peace concept. There are two types of motivation. Now, what are the two types of motivation? One is financial incentives or financial motivation, or we go with one more, that is the non-financial motivation. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidyashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students for the 7th chapter, the 3rd session of directing. Now, what exactly we have done in the last 2 sessions is very simple. We went with what is the meaning of directing. We also went with the importance of directing, and I told you about what is motivation, motivator, what makes a person to get motive. So here, please understand, in this chapter directing, we'll talk more about 2 more topics today. That is, we'll go with the Maslow theory of hierarchy, and one more is the features. Now, when we go with the features, what type of feature is it? It's a feature of motivation. So here, when we go with Maslow needs of hierarchy, please do understand this is a person who actually gave the entire theory of motivation in a different degrees and the angle. Now, here what we need to understand is about this great man called Maslow. Now, when we go with Maslow, what exactly he has said? Now, when we go with the word Maslow itself, many people will know that it is all about the need of hierarchy. Why people will get motivated, how people will get motivated, and what makes them to get motivated. This is what the Maslow theory of hierarchy says. Usually what happens is we always go with the top to the bottom, but here in this theory it is not like that. We go with the opposite of it. That is, we start from the first one is the base here, then we go with the hierarchy. That is what Maslow theory of hierarchy says. The first point of Maslow's hierarchy is physiological needs. Why anybody gets motivated? Now, please do understand. The first one is the physiological needs. What it says is, anybody who wants to fulfill their physiological needs, they will definitely work, and that is how the Maslow has seen the motivation theory in that perspective. The first one here is the physiological. That means food, clothing, shelter. If a person doesn't have to have that, he will work. That is what he says. Second is, after this physiological, they come to the safety needs. That is like, I should be safe. My family should be safe. To secure the family, he will work more. Once he attains that and he gets saturated, then he moves to the next one. And the next one is called the belongingness and love needs, which is also called as social needs. Now understand, physiological, what happens is he'll only go with the basic needs. That is, if my basic needs are fulfilled, I am happy, and then he works. When his basic needs are fulfilled, then after it gets saturated, he feels that, no, let me do something more. I need more things. See here, the entire physiological, the basic and any other needs here, what it is, man is a person who always wants something more. So for that more, he always work and he gets motivated. That is what the principles of Maslow theory is. Next, when you go with the social needs, then they go with the one more thing that is called esteem. Now that person needs everybody to look up to him, to see that that person is capable of doing everything, that status he wants to enjoy, that pleasure he wants to enjoy. Now that is what it is. That is esteem needs. The word esteem means very big. After esteem needs, he goes to the last one, and this is where he self-realizes something, and that we call it as self-actualization. So these are the needs which Maslow has actually given us, and we call this as Maslow theory. So the first one here when we go is the basic or the physiological needs. Now please do remember that it is Maslow theory, so please write that physiological needs. Now these needs are most basic in hierarchy and corresponds to the primary needs. That is, your clothing, shelter, and food. So these are what a basic need any human would actually want to have. So that is what will motivate a person to work. And the second one, when we go with that is the safety or security need. Now after the basic is all done, then he goes for what? I need to secure myself with my family. So that is what it is. This need provides security and protection from physical and emotional harm. So he always want to be live in peace concept. The next one here is the belongingness, which is also called as the social needs. It is also called as what? Social needs. Now here what happens is he wants people to recognize him, but he also wants people to invite him to his or to their gatherings. Now here these needs refers to affection, sense of belongingness, acceptance, and friendship. So he wants people to be his friend, plus he wants people to consider him as their friend. So that is what the belongingness need is. So he'll work really hard to get that social bonding. Next is esteem needs, and esteem in the sense the word esteem is what? That means very big. It's not just big, it is very big. Now, these includes factors such as self-respect, autonomy status, recognition, and attention. Now, that person will be an attention seeker that people should always watch him, always look him. So this is what is called the esteem. And the last one is self-actualization. Now, here what happens is it is the highest level of need in the hierarchy. Now that is what it is called the pinnacle. Now it refers to the drive. Now what kind of a drive it is to become what one is capable of becoming. That means what is the limit? That is what the question mark is. And Maslow is a person who always used to say that you should not be better with somebody if it is compared. It should be you should be better than your yesterday. That is what Maslow always says. That means you should be developed each and every time whenever there is an opportunity, and it should be like the efficiency level and the effectiveness should be greater. That is what he says. Next is these needs include growth, self-fulfillment, and achievement of goals. So he should always strive for getting self-actualization, saying that I should be the best. And what type of a best? That is the best of the best I can be. That is how I should be. That is what self-actualization says. Next one we have is the motivation here. That is the features of motivation. What are the features of motivation if you go with it? So the first feature of motivation is what? It is an internal feeling. See, you should get motivated within yourself. It is not somebody who will motivate you. Though there are people who will motivate you, but it is you again who should get motivated within yourself. The second one is motivation produces goal-directed behavior. Next is motivation can be either positive as well as it can be negative. And the last point here we have is what? Motivation is not a simple process. It's a very complex process. That means you have too many factors, which is internal as well as external. So we say that motivation is what? It's a complex process. Now, when we go with the motivation, we are supposed to also know there are two types of motivation. Now, what are the two types of motivation? One is financial incentives or financial motivation, or we go with one more, that is the non-financial motivation. So, what is financial motivation? When we go with the financial incentives or the financial motivation, now we need to understand that the financial incentives refers to incentives which are in direct monetary form or measurable in monetary terms and services to motivate people for the better performance. That means what? Money is involved. So that we call it as the financial incentives. Now, what are the financial incentives we are supposed to go with? The first one here, when we go with financial incentives and the used in the organization, the first one is pay and allowance. Now, you have so many allowance, like you have TA, traveling allowance. You have something called DA, dearance allowance. You have something called HRA, house and rent allowance. Look, you have that. That means the organization is paying you. That means they want you to actually be happy and you are supposed to work for the organization. So this is where the monetary benefits will come. That means the company is giving you those allowances. Second is productivity linked wage incentives. Next is bonus, profit sharing. Please do understand these words: bonus, profit sharing. All these things are what that will make a person feel that the organization is taking care of him. Now it is his right that he need to take care of the organization. So the more incentives a person is getting, that is the financial incentives, he feels that he is privileged. He is a person who is working really hard and the organization is actually recognizing him and his work. So that is where the financial incentives will definitely motivate a person. Next one we have is co-partnership or give a stock option. So here, these are the words which is used in the company where it's a public company or a private company. People are there who are looking for these type of people who can work really hard for the organization to grow. Next is retirement benefit and prerequisites. Now, when we go with all these things, please do understand the first one which I told you was pay and allowances. For every employee's salary is the basic monetary incentives. It includes basic pay, I told you dearness allowance and other allowances. The same way here, what is it? They motivate those people. Next is production linked wage incentives, that is several wage incentives plans aims at linking payment of wages to increase the productivity at individual as well as in the group level. That is, they go with the productivity linked wage incentives. The more you produce, the more the money you get. That is what is called the pay link. Next is bonus. Now, bonus is an incentive offered over and above the wages or the salary to the employee. So you do more, they will actually give you more. That is what the bonus is all about. Next is profit sharing. Here what it means is what you provide shares of the employees in the profit of the organization. If the organization is making profit, the part of the profit is shared with the employees. Again, this is what it will definitely motivate an employee to do more profit for the organization because he is a person who will get the benefit out of it. Next one is the co-partnership stock option, where they will be getting a kind of a co-partnership kind of a privilege and they will get something called the stock options. Now here retirement benefit, when I say that after 60 what, that is the question mark. So it is the organization who will actually give pensions, they'll give compensation. They are the people who will take care of the family even after the service is rendered. Next, when we go with those things, please do understand the last one is the prerequisites. Now here what happens is in many companies, prerequisites and the fringe benefits, please do remember this word fringe benefits, though now the word fringe benefits have been deleted, but what exactly happens here in prerequisites is are offered such as car allowance, housing, medical aid and education to the children, etc. over and above the salaries. That means here that person is getting all privileges from the organization. That is what is called the prerequisites. And the next one we have is the non-financial incentives. Now what exactly happens in non-financial incentives? As we said that the financial incentives is always the directly it is related to the monetary benefits, where we have understood that the company and the organization is giving a monetary benefit to the employees. But here in non-financial incentives, they don't have the monetary benefit but something more than the monetary benefit, which people always aim at. The first one here is status. Now, when they give status, say example, there are 400 employees in an organization and you are the person who got a privilege of getting more status in the organization. How do you feel? The way you walk, the confidence what you carry, that is what we call it as non-financial incentives. The money is not increased, the respect is increased. People are there who will always be recognizing you because of your work. Next one is organizational climate. Now here the organization climate, when I say that, it is all about the intangible things which happens here. Automatically people will start giving you more respect. People will start giving you more kind of a responsibility with authority. So that is what the organization climate will be totally different. The way they behave, the way they approach you will be totally different. Here also monetary is not there, But still, what is it? It is a status, it is the organization climate which changes accordingly. Next is career advancement opportunity, job enrichment, employee recognition program, job security. See, this is a very important topic. This is a very important topic which you people need to go with, that is job security. Now, what exactly job security is? Now, in this pandemic also, we have seen so many things, that is, there are people who have lost their job. Now, the question mark for them is what? After the job is not there, what next? Will the other company recognize our work? Will they give us more salary? Will they give us a position which we have enjoyed earlier? So that is where you have a problem. But if your job is secured in a company, that means what? These things are the privileges which you people will actually need to earn. Nobody will give it to you. Employee participation and employee empowerment. So all these are what? The non-financial incentives. So when I say non-financial incentives, that means what? It is not monetary, but something more than the monetary, which is all intangible. It is not tangible, it is all intangible. So when we go with the first one, the non-financial incentives, we have status and we have organizational climate. Now the status means what? It is the ranking of position in the organization. That is what we call that as status. Next one here is the climate. When I say the climate indicates the characteristics which describe an organization and distinguish one organization from the other. There are many type of climates which you people can see according to the leadership which they have. The leadership I'll be explaining you more in this chapter itself. If it is an authoritarian leadership, what will be the climate? If it is a bureaucratic leadership, how exactly the organization will behave? If it is a participation leadership, how the climate will change. I'll talk you more about the leadership concept as well as the organization climate in the next sessions. Next one we have here is career advancement and job enrichment. Now, career advancement means what? That means every individual wants to grow, that we all know, but it's higher level in the organization. That is what we call that as the career advancement. You are not supposed to be only stagnant here for this position. You should also go here and you should be here itself. That is, career advancement should be there. Next one here, when we go with job enrichment, it is concerned with designing jobs that includes greater variety of work content, require higher level of knowledge and skill that gives worker more autonomy and responsibility. So here it is not just one particular job. It should be a job designed for a person for his career advancement. So here career advancement and job enrichment, they go hand to hand. Next one we have is employee recognition program and job security. When it is a recognition program, people should always recognize a person. Now, recognition means acknowledgement with a show of appreciation. So you should always get appreciated by your team leader, your manager, your top level management, or else what happens is you are not even recognized. Next is job security. Now, what exactly that means is you should have a security or a secured job. So that will give you a boost saying that whatever happens to me, my organization is always there to look after my family, after me also. So that is what the job security is. Employee participation and employee empowerment. Now here it means involving employees in decision making. See, these are the very rare of the rarest compositions which happens here. That is, the organization, the top level wants the employees to participate in the decision making. But if they do, that means what? They have recognized you as well as your work. And the next one we have is employee empowerment. Now, empowerment means what? Giving more autonomy and responsibility to the person who is working in the organization. Now, that means what? That person is doing really good. Now, he is capable of handling even the upper and the higher task. So that is what the empowerment, where the subordinate is giving more powers. So what is empowerment? That is, empowerment means giving more autonomy and power to whom? To the subordinate. And empowerment makes people feel that their job are important. See, this is what it is. If you give a person responsibility with the authority, that person feels that he is a deserving candidate and people have chosen him because of his hard work. So please do understand, these are the non-financial incentives where finance is not given, the monetary benefits are not given. So thank you so much. If you have any doubts, please do call us. We are always there to help you. I'll see you when I see you.